media, content creators, and gamers may have it all wrong. Cyberpunk 2077 media posts may have been the culprit. We break down our thesis as we re-examine all conjoining information. We then ask, is Cyberpunk 2077 coming to Stadia Day and Date after all? Let's get into it.
Stay sick cause I follow my gut. They say I was pushing my luck. I'ma push me a matte all black truck. Oh, I'm not sorry.
What's up, people? What's up, people? What is up, people? It is your boy MM2K back again with another episode of the Stadia Dosage. All right, in this episode of the Stadia Dosage, we're actually highlighting Stadia Corner, which is co-sponsored by the Broadband Bullies. So with that said, let's get into it. But do me a huge favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, rock those bells for notifications, please, so you know when your boys drop in these doses. I appreciate all of y'all straight up. Y'all know the deal, y'all know the reason, and y'all know the slogan. I am not too proud to ask. Let's get into it. All right. So first and foremost, I want to point out that this is not based on any new or leaked sources. Instead, it's a more defined review of the information that we've had at our disposal, just plausibly viewed incorrectly. It looks we may have negated some important context clues, and by doing so, we've led ourselves to believe that Cyberpunk 2077 people would never be day and date on Stadia. Now, how did I come to this epiphany? Well, during a live stream on the Broadband Bullies curated Hard Knock Digital Culture platform that your boy hosts, I engaged in a discussion with a viewer, big time supporter Shake Capo. Big up to Shake. Now, during this discussion, the viewer justly asked why Stadia wasn't getting a next-gen version of NBA 2K20, right? And the reason why he said that was because of this. Now you see this is a graphic that 2K released for the 2K21 game. And if you look at it here, let's take a look at it. If you can see right here in that little tiny byline, let me try to increase this a little bit more. In a little tiny byline here, you can see Stadia under the current gen versions, but then you don't see Stadia, you only see PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X under the previous gen versions, right? So that had the homie Shake Capo like, what in the world is going on here? And of course he likes to make fun of me because I am a big enthusiast for the Stadia platform. So again, Shake came to me and he said, MM2K, what's going on? He saw that and he said, yo, what's the malfunction, good brother? He said, where is that version of NBA 2K21 for Stadia? All right. Again, Stadia was listed, but only under the current gen, 8th generation of gaming. Only under that section, not the 9th gen, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X generation, okay? So with all that said, I said to the viewer that it wasn't etched in stone. A next-gen version for Stadia could be likely. I mean, we've heard rumblings in the past about a newer version of Stadia, newer set of server slabs and stuff like that, but I'll get into that more in a little bit. And I also said it's just 2K can't say anything because Stadia hasn't announced anything marketable yet on its next generation upgrade. Those familiar with the Stadia info train know exactly what I'm talking about. Y'all know that Google is very close to the vest, too much in my opinion, regarding upcoming content and or upgrades. Therefore, it's highly likely an enhanced version of NBA 2K21 for Stadia is coming, but it will be advertised later. Then the discussion morphed somehow to Cyberpunk 2077. Then that's when the epiphany hit me. That's when it hit your boy like a stack of bricks. What if Cyberpunk 2077's peculiar messaging about Stadia is based on this same rule of engagement? If that's the case, then we've been wrong all along. All right. So let's go to the history here so you can understand what the hell I'm talking about. Now, what were we wrong all along about? For those of you that don't know, the messaging around Cyberpunk 2077's release on Stadia has been mind-numbing to say the least. Gamers missed an original press release from CD Projekt Red about the Stadia version. Now, in retrospect, looking at that original press release, that release would have likely been interpreted as a non-day and date situation like all the other verbiage that I'm about to review with you. Then the game got pushed back to September, the soonest, for everyone. This while the aforementioned press release flew under the radar again, okay? So once pushed back to September, the Stadia logo was noticed under the new release date. This was spotted on the Cyberpunk 2077 website. This led the community to rejoice and believe that the game was coming day and date to the platform because the logo along with the other platforms was under the release date. However, another press release was discovered. That same non-day and date perceived verbiage was used surrounding the Stadia version. Then the original press release was discovered, and that was brought into the discussion as well. That led to the public for the first time recognizing the possibility it wasn't coming day and date to the Stadia. It's just unfortunately that possibility seemed like it was 100%. Therefore, a media blitz occurred for all to make fun of the platform like how they love to do with Stadia. And then a temporary rift in the Stadia community ensued. Then the title got pushed back yet again. But this time, even though the very similar non-day and date perceived verbiage was used once again in a subsequent press release after it was pushed back, this time that verbiage felt very odd, okay? Now you may be asking me, what the hell is this verbiage? Well, it's one that notes either that the game for Stadia is coming by the end of the year, quote unquote, or quote unquote, launch the same year after the release dates for the Xbox, PlayStation, and PC are proceeding, okay? With that, now we enter the crux of the argument here. Have we been reading this all wrong all along? All right, so let's do this. I want to take a look at the statements, okay? So let's flip back over here. Now, if you look at each of the statements I've mentioned earlier, the verbiage of quote unquote by the end of the year or quote unquote launch the same year is used. Okay, so when you look at April 2020, the original launch date, and when they originally announced that it was coming to Stadia, they said in their presser, Cyberpunk 2077 will release April 16th, 2020 for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. The Google Stadia version will launch the same year. Additional details will be made available at a later date. Then, when the game was pushed back to 2020, as I mentioned earlier, the presser said Cyberpunk 2077 will be released on September 17th, 2020 for the PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. By the end of the year, the game will also make its debut on Google Stadia. Further information can be found on the game's official website and its Facebook and Twitter profiles. Then lastly, with it being pressed back to November 2020, here's what the presser says yet again. Cyberpunk 2077 will release November 19th, 2020 for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, with the version for Google Stadia set to launch the same year. The game will also be playable on Xbox Series X and blah, 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 blah. All right? So there you have it, folks. Now, with all that said, it's fathomable that during the earlier release dates, that verbiage can be taken as releasing after XYZ platforms. However, again, the November release comments are peculiar. Again, let me read them again. Cyberpunk 2077 will release November 19th, 2020 for PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4, with the versions for Google Stadia set to launch the same year. There are only 42 days left in the year after that date. What can an additional 42 days provide for a subsequent launch at that? Wouldn't they need more time in order to handle releasing on a different platform? You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Now, many suggest, though, a marketing deal could be the culprit. Well, let's examine that. Xbox has the marketing rights, y'all. And the head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, has spoken out extensively against time exclusivity. It's his diehard passion on topics like exclusivity that makes him so polarizing, especially the time that I'm recording this. And it makes him so polarizing within the hardcore gaming community. Now, people question Phil's integrity in certain subject matters, and I do as well. Though personally, I think he's being authentic here. I don't think time exclusivity, for 42 days at that, is something he thinks is worth the investment. Even against a rival like Google, I just can't see it. Now, we have to ask ourselves, so then why? Why would CD Projekt Red just hold this game for 42 days off the platform? It doesn't make much sense, right? Well, if they are not, what if they're not holding it? Think about this. What if they're not holding it? What if the Stadia version of the game is coming to a version of the platform not yet mentioned for marketing purposes? So that leads us to the synopsis. That version that I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen, has been referred to as Stadia Gen 2.0, and we've written about it here. Now, this version has been referred to by previous members of the Stadia team, and it's also been noted that by a developer, that developer praised the performance of their next-gen efforts on this newer version more so than they have the Xbox Series X. And we know the Xbox Series X is going to be a powerful beast of a gaming machine. So that says a lot about how much of a AAA developer's delight Gen 2.0 could actually be. So let's break this all down, folks. So we know the potential power of this vaguely mentioned upgrade of Stadia. We also know that Stadia likes to keep future implementation close to the vest. We in addition know that 2K fully backs Stadia's cloud platform. And 2K would love nothing more to utilize this new hardware and charge consumers $70 opposed to $60 on it as well. Therefore, a Stadia Gen 2.0 of the game is most likely coming, though not yet advertised. So knowing all of this, we need to ask ourselves a more poignant question. Is Cyberpunk 2077 actually set to be the first game released on Stadia Gen 2.0 and Stadia Gen 2.0 only? Right? Is that why the very vague by the end of the year or launch the same year verbiage has constantly been used? I mean, think about it. By the end of the year / launch the same year isn't mutually exclusive to after PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. It doesn't mean after, it just means launch the same year. It's launching the same year. You know what I'm saying? It's banker babble or it's business babble, people. Again, think about it. Have we simply let our inability to navigate such business babble take us down a smoke-filled path? I believe so. I also think Google wanted it this way all along to more importantly keep their competition guessing as well. Nonetheless, even if the advertised release schedule stands firm, my mind is made up now. I know in the past that I've said, oh, thank God for Geoff and all that other stuff. That was me having a bad morning. I didn't have my oatmeal yet. But now with these latest revelations, that's all thrown out the door. Why? Well, simply put, if my most anticipated game of 2020 is only launching 42 days after the other platforms on my heavily preferred platform, I'll wait. But if not, if this is day and date, not only will this be a lesson to all of us on how we ought to navigate the craftier wordplay we're exposed to, again, the business babble, as we tell you about on this platform all the time, yet it will also be a fantastic moment for all Stadia gamers and gamers in general. They will have more incentive to play and enjoy such a big title with all of the performance convenience and access affordability Stadia has to offer. At the end of the day, it's a win-win, people. And that's it from your boy, MM2K. Yo, let me know what you think about what I had to say in the comment section below, because like I always say, who cares what I think? But if you did like what I had to say, check out the links below to follow me. Those links will lead you to the Broadband Bullies, PNTS Network, Hard Knock Digital Culture, and yes, here the Stadia Dosage. And with all that being said, we'll probably find out soon enough, because this was been recorded the day before the July Connect. So this maybe that'll make this this article or this video a fool's errand, or it'll make it something that's coming to fruition. We'll soon see. With that said, you all have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.